Bluegrass is a pure music. We like to think of it as the real home type picking stuff that you can enjoy, and something you do yourself and play it just as you feel it.
You have unacoustic instruments like mandolin, fiddle, guitar, bass, and banjo, and guitar. And the music moves a little faster than most music does, you know.
The term bluegrass came definitely from the Bill Monroe group known as the Bluegrass Boys. Bill being from the bluegrass state of Kentucky and one of the forerunners, or first to become nationally prominent and popular with it.
I think really it's a combination of blues and mountain music put together.
And it's got a little touch of blues in it and a touch of breakdown, I'd say. That's the best way that I can explain it to you.
Let's do Shuck in the Corn.
1, 2, 3.
The McLain family band of Berea, Kentucky has preserved many of the original bluegrass traditions. Here they do some double banjo for the crowd at the Salt Creek Park Festival in Hugo, Oklahoma. Hundreds of thousands of Americans attend outdoor bluegrass festivals each summer. The first such event was held at a horse farm outside Fincastle, Virginia in 1965. From that small beginning, there are now more than 400 yearly festivals located throughout the United States. Bluegrass music, taken from the name of Bill Monroe's string band, the Bluegrass Boys, has maintained the old-time country styles, songs, and instruments. 5 instruments, all unamplified, make up the standard bluegrass band: fiddle, 5-string banjo, guitar, mandolin, and stand-up string bass. The most distinctive sound in bluegrass music is the 5-string banjo played in the 3-finger picking style made famous by Earl Scruggs in the late 1940s. Prior to Earl Scruggs, the 5-string banjo had been played in the traditional mountain style known as clawhammer. This style is still performed by Ralph Stanley. At the Powderhorn Bluegrass Festival in Langley, Oklahoma, he performs Rocky Island and Little Birdie.
Say, my candy darling, you know I love her so. Got a short time to stay here and a long time to be gone.
Developing out of the clawhammer style is the 3-finger picking style. Don Reno, a first-generation banjoist who played with Monroe's Bluegrass Boys, plays his own brand of 3-finger picking.
We'd like to do a number for you that Arthur Smith and myself wrote back in 1955, and it kind of caught on and made a big splash in the 70s. It's called Jewel and Banjos. Are you boys ready?
We're ready now.
always a breakdown lover, you know. I used to play fiddle a little bit, and I wanted to get the same notes on a banjo that you got on a fiddle, you know, and rolling, it's hard to do that. So I decided, you know, you can't use a straight pick and then switch from a straight pick to a finger pick. So I come up with the deal of down on the thumb and up with the first finger. It's a split-second timing, and you get the same effect that you get with a flat pick, but then if you want to roll, you got your finger picks on so you can roll. And that's how I come up with the one string stuff, you know, what they call flat picking now, I guess, on a banjo. I don't know, somebody's always coming up with a new name for whatever you do, and I don't care what they call it as long as they listen to it.
Yeah.
Don Reno has passed down the bluegrass tradition to his sons, Bill on the mandolin and Don Jr. on the banjo. Don Jr. demonstrates the Reno style at the Salt Creek Park Festival. The fiddle, America's oldest folk instrument, has been described by many as the kingpin of the bluegrass band. The older, more traditional Irish and Scottish fiddle tunes provided the foundation for bluegrass fiddling. Chubby Anthony, classic bluegrass fiddler who played with the Stanley Brothers during the 1950s, along with his group Tall Timber, plays one of these old-time tunes, Sally Johnson. Chubby Wise, a fiddler for Bill Monroe in the 1940s, talks about bluegrass fiddling.
To me, a bluegrass fiddler's got long, lonesome notes in it. And now, of course, that's my brand of fiddle playing, them long, bluesy notes. And bluegrass is harder to play than the country music because there's a lot more notes in it. It's not as simple to play as if you play bluegrass right. There's a lot of fiddling in it.
All right, boys, get in the gear, doggy here. Let's take a ride on that Lee Highway. Are you ready?
Many of the fiddling traditions have been passed down from generation to generation. Young Raymond McLain uses traditional elements with his fiddling at Salt Creek Park as he performs Black Mountain Rag. Bluegrass vocals are influenced by the old-time, unaccompanied singing of ballads and church songs. Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys sing at the Powderhorn Festival, "Children, Go Where I Send Thee."
Children, go where I send thee. Oh, Lordy, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee one by one, for the one was a little bitty baby born. Children born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. Oh, Lordy, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee two by two, for the two was the Paul and Silas. One was a little bitty baby born. Children born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. Oh, Lordy, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee three by three, for the three was the Hebrew children. Two was the Paul and Silas. One was a little bitty baby born. Children born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. Oh, Lordy, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee four by four, for the four was the four that stood at the door. Three was the Hebrew children. Two was the Paul and Silas. One was a little bitty baby born. Children born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. Oh, Lordy, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm gonna send thee 10 by 10, for the 10 was the 10 commandments. 9 was the 9 that stood in the line. 8 was the 8 that waited at the gate. 7 was a 7 that never got to heaven. 6 was a 6 that didn't get fixed. Oh, my Lord. 3 was a Hebrew children. 2 was a falling beside us. 1 was a little bitty baby born. Children born in Bethlehem. In Bethlehem. Born in Bethlehem.
When gospel songs are sung, many times a bass part is added to a trio, recalling the four-part harmony tradition of church singing. The boys from Indiana use four-part singing in When I Get to Glory.
In this world of sorrow, I've seen trouble and woe. When I get to glory land, I'll see no more. I know my prayers have not been in vain. When I get to glory, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. When I get to glory, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna let the hallelujahs ring. I'm gonna praise my blessed Savior's name. When I get to glory, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. Sometimes I get so weary inside, then I recall how my Jesus died. I'll know there'll be no sorrow and pain. When I get to glory, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. When I get to glory, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna let the hallelujahs ring. I'm gonna praise my blessed Savior's name. When I get to glory, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. Up there no tears will blind my eyes, and I'll walk along by my Jesus' side. I'll meet my loved ones all once again. When I get to glory, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. When I get to glory, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna let the hallelujahs ring. I'm gonna praise my blessed Savior's name. When I get to glory, I'm gonna sing, sing, sing.
The Lewis family from Georgia has popularized gospel bluegrass singing. Coming from a strong rural church background, the Lewis family performed their brand of gospel bluegrass for us at Hugo. Joy in singing and in making harmony was an important part of early bluegrass.
With the people from all nations, Lord, one celebration. Won't it be a happy time? Oh, won't it be a happy time? Won't it be a happy time?
Well, we're so excited about our new album. The new album title is, Polly, tell them what it is. It's called The Hallelujah Turnpike. Polly, tell them what color the album is. The album is green. It won't have any trouble finding the new album when you go over there and dump them 5, 10s, and 20s out on the ground over there in my mama's lap to get them new albums. Polly, let's do the title of the new album. It's a song called Hallelujah Turnpike, Polly. Tell them how we're going to do this song, okay?
Okay,
Just tell them that I'm going to lead it, and then in the middle, you're going to come along, and I'm going to drop this thing down in another gear, and you're going to tear it up right in the middle of the song. And then I'm going to come back and take it away from you, and I'm going to get it, and then we're going to go to town at that thing, Polly. Tell them all that stuff.
Okay, Lord.
Tell them how hard it was to record this song, too.
All right, what about me starting it off then? If you want to tell,
Okay, no, here we're going. I'm rolling down that hallelujah turnpike. I'm loaded up with joy in my soul. Oh, this rig is glory bound, and the devil can't slow me down. Jesus already paid my toll. Rolling
farther up the road. Wheels are turning, every turning. Oh, get behind me, Satan, you're too slow. We're rolling up that Hallelujah Turnpike, headed home.
Oh, get it, buddy. Well, if you're not on that Hallelujah Turnpike, you better turn and go the other way. Oh, brother, don't wait. Start laying a strip to the pearly gates and move over in Franklin Lane.
Rolling, we're rolling, and heaven is farther up the road. Wheels are turning, every turning. Oh, get behind me, Satan, you're too slow. We're rolling up that Hallelujah Turnpike, headed home. Rolling, Lord, we're rolling, and heaven is farther up the road. Wheels are turning, every turning. Oh, get behind me, Satan, you're too slow. We're rolling up that Hallelujah Turnpike, headed home. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Lord, we're rolling, rolling, rolling. Headed home.
Well, if you're not on that Hallelujah Turnpike, you better turn and go the other way. Oh, brother, don't wait. Start laying a strip to the pearly gates and move over in the passing lane.
Rolling, Lord, we're rolling, and heaven is farther up the road. Wheels are turning, every turning. Oh, get behind me, Satan, you're too slow. We're rolling up that Hallelujah Turnpike, headed home. Rolling, Lord, we're rolling, and heaven is farther up the road. Wheels are turning, every turning. Oh, get behind me, Satan, you're too slow. We're rolling up that Hallelujah Turnpike, headed home. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Lord, we rolling, rolling, rolling. Headed home.
We used to have a lot of singing conventions around our home, and we would always, about every Sunday, we would go to some church and sing. Well, on this particular Sunday, we had a singing convention at our home church, and we had the Happy Goodman family there. And Charlie Rusty Goodman saw me. I guess I was about 9 years old, and he said, "Hey, you picked pretty good." He said, "Would you like to come down to Wally Fowler's big all-night singing?" So that was really the first time that I was before a big crowd, say 5,000 people. It was the Lewis brothers before it was the Lewis family. We would always go around and play electric guitars and things like that, electric fiddles. Well, my brother Wallace went to Augusta one Saturday, and he kept looking at this Martin guitar, D28, that he wanted awful bad. So he bought that thing home in a sack. He didn't even have enough money to buy a case for it. And he bought that D28 home. It cost $193. And I said, "Boy, you got to be crazy to pay $193 for something not electric." Well, from that day on, we got us a bass fiddle and that Martin guitar, and that's when the bluegrass part came in the Lewis family.
All right, I'm going to sing one that I used to sing called "Want to Be a Happy Town." know the day is nearing when the Lord will be appearing. Won't it be a happy time? Standing on the highest mountain, Christian brothers will be counting, sanctified, singing, shouting. Won't it be a happy time? Angels to the earth descending, Santa's to the Lord avenging. Gonna be a happy ending by and by. Have a little congregation with the people from all nations. Lord, what a celebration. Won't it be a happy time? To the Lord of ending, wanna be a happy ending by and by. Have a little congregation with the people from all nations. Lord, what a celebration, wanna be a happy time. Standing on the highest mountain, Christian brothers will be counting, sanctified, singing, shouting. Won't it be a happy time? Oh, won't it be a happy time? Won't it be a happy time?
The old Anglo-Saxon ballads and the newer American ballads have always been a major part of bluegrass music. Mac Wiseman, in the high, lonesome style of Bill Monroe, performs 8 More Miles to Louisville at the Sanders Family Festival.
Well, I've traveled all this countrywide, searching the fortune fair. I've been down the 2 coastlines, I've been most everywhere. Portland East to Portland West and back along the line. I'm on my way this very day to that old hometown of mine. 8 more miles to Louisville will come into my view. 8 more miles on this old road and I'll never more be blue. I knew someday that I'd come back, I knew it from the start. 8 more miles to Louisville, the hometown of my heart. Oh, get a rope. Well, I can picture in my mind the place that we'll call home. An humble little house for 2 you'll never want to roam. The place that's right for that love sight is in those bluegrass hills, where gently flows the Ohio by a place called Louisville. 8 more miles in Louisville will come into my view. 8 more miles on this old road and I'll never more be blue. I knew someday that I'd come back, I knew it from the start. 8 more miles to Louisville, the hometown of my heart. Yeah!
1948, when Lester and Earl left Monroe, and Cedric Rainwater and Jim Shue made a fiddle player at that time who'd formerly been with Bill at one time, we got together and organized the Foggy Mountain Boys in Bristol, Virginia, and I did the first Mercury session with them, the God Loves His Children, Gonna Make Heaven My Home, We'll Meet Again, Sweetheart, and Lester did a solo, Kevin and Caroline, I believe.
What were some of those records that were considered solid bluegrass numbers there that you recorded first for Dot?
Well, the very first release was a number I'd used for a number of years for a theme song, and Sweated Blood, afraid somebody else recorded before I could get on record, which seemed almost an impossibility at the time, was Too Sweet to Be Remembered. That was the very first release, and it was a big hit, I'm happy to say. Followed by I Wonder How the Old Folks Are at Home, or Still Write Your Name in the Sand, Love Letters in the Sand, Jimmy Brown the Newsboy, The Ballad of Davy Crockett.
Mac performs one of these early recordings, I Wonder How the Old Folks Are at Home.
Well, I wonder how the old folks are at home. Wonder if they'll miss me while I roam. Wonder if they pray for the boy who went away and left his dear old parents all alone. You could hear the cattle lowing in the lane, see the fields of bluegrass where I've roamed. You could almost hear them cry as they kissed their boy goodbye. Well, I wonder how the old folks are at home. Just a village and a homestead on the farm. Mother's love to shield you from all harm. A mother's love's a true, a sweetheart that loves you. A village and a homestead on the farm. You could hear the cattle lowing in the lane. See the fields of bluegrass where I roam. You could almost hear them cry as they kiss their boy goodbye. Well, I wonder how the old folks are at home. Could hear the cattle lowing in the lane. See the fields of bluegrass where I roam. You could almost hear them cry as they kiss their boy goodbye. Well, I wonder how the old folks are at home.
The McLain family sings Meet Me Tonight.
Well, if I had the wings of an angel, over these prison bars I would fly. I'd fly to the arms of my darling, and there I'd be willing to die. So meet me tonight, love will meet me out in the moonlight alone. For I have a sad story to tell you, must be told in the moonlight alone. If I had a ship out on the ocean, all loaded down with silver and gold, before my darling would suffer, I'd have that ship anchored and sold. So meet me tonight, love will meet me out in the moonlight alone. For I have a sad story to tell you, must be told in the moonlight alone. Well, I know that your parents don't like me. Oh, they kicked me away from your door. If I had my life to live over, I'd never go there anymore. So meet me tonight, love will meet me out in the moonlight alone. For I have a sad story to tell you, must be told in the moonlight alone.
Buck Graves developed bluegrass style on the dobro. The dobro is a guitar with a metal resonator set inside the body for greater acoustic amplification. Graves applied a three-finger picking technique derived from the Scruggs banjo style and introduced the sound in 1955 with Flatt and Scruggs and the Foggy Mountain Boys.
Earl Scruggs has been my idol all them years, you know, and I learned to know him pretty well. And he taught me that roll, the three-finger roll, and that's where you get your speed and whatever, you know. You can't do it with just a regular slide. And I owe that to Earl Scruggs, and I hold him up very dearly, him and Lester both. I enjoyed it. They taught me a lot of things, and well, I guess hadn't been for Flatt and Scruggs, I wouldn't be here today, you know, here Hugo at this festival.
During the 1960s, bluegrass music was given national exposure over a network television program called The Beverly Hillbillies. We talked with Graves about this important development.
The Beverly Hillbillies, what you're speaking of, we was in California doing this small club out of coffee house, and the man, the producer of the music, happened to be in the audience, and he was looking for a group, you know. He happened to be out there, and so when we got back home, Flatt and Scruggs got this call, and so he come out, and we didn't know what we was doing really when we put that thing together, but it turned out pretty good, you know. We eat a long time on that.
What have you been just playing mostly festivals, or where else?
I go everywhere. I played a brush fire. I wouldn't care, you know, if I had to.
The bluegrass mandolin is used as both a lead and rhythm instrument. Bill Monroe used the fiddle as a model for his mandolin style, which has become the universal pattern for bluegrass mandolinists. The bass sets up a conventional rhythmic pattern and occasionally will supply a lead. The guitar is used primarily for background rhythm. By the mid-1960s, however, the guitar assumed a more prominent role, with many musicians using the flat picking technique to add a new sound to the bluegrass band. Chubby Anthony, Josh Graves, and Tall Timber do the Bill Monroe tune, Will You Be Lovin' Another Man?
Now don't
love is grand. And before I'm out of sight, dear, you'll be loving another man. Will you be loving another man? Will you be loving another man? When I return to you waiting, will you be loving another man? To be true, dear, I want you to please understand. When I return, don't say you're sorry. Just keep on loving another man. Will you be loving another man? Will you be loving another man? When I return, you wait. Will you be loving another man?
The Orange Blossom Special is probably one of the most popular bluegrass tunes. Chubby Wise relates the story of how it was composed.
Of course, you probably remember the story about the Orange Blossom Special.
Right.
I was fortunate enough and lucky enough, I'm grateful to say that I was co-writer on that, a buddy of mine, Irvin Rouse, and myself, put that one together, and it's been a few years ago, 1936 to be exact, which is a few years ago.
Can you tell us about the Orange Blossom Special, how you went about writing it?
Well, yes, they had the train in the Union Station Park for people to go through. It was really more or less the first streamlined train ever hit Florida. And Irvin and I had been out playing some dances or a few things around town, and we decided we'd go through and look at that train. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, we sat right on the side of my bed on 809 East Adams Street. And I even remember the address in Jacksonville, Florida. And put that thing together, and at that time, it was back in the Depression days. And I had to go check on my cab and go to work. I was driving the cab in the daytime, playing the fiddle at night, and everything else. I was making a living. So Irvin asked me, he said, you want to go and get a copyright on it? And I said, Irvin, I ain't got time to fool with that. I said, if you can do anything with it, it's all yours. And he done something with it. That was my biggest mistake. Here's my version of it. Hope you enjoy it. One called the Old Orange Blossom Special. Fire it up, Joe. Let's go.
Bluegrass festivals take a great deal of planning and preparation for the thousands of people who attend. In addition to stage and seating, provisions must be made for camping, public restrooms and showers, water and food. George Carney talked with Freddie Sanders, promoter for the Sanders Family Festival.
Freddie, we've been down here a couple of weeks before your festival starts. What have you got left to do to get ready for the festival?
Well, we've got quite a bit. I guess as you've noticed, our weeds are still high in the grass. We've got to cut all that. We'll wait just as close to time as we can to cut that so it'll be down right. And then we still have to spray for insects such as ticks and chiggers and all that. We'll do that right up to the time of the festival, and then put some more gravel on the roads, and then we'll go around and check all of our electric circuits and everything, see if that's all up and proper. And then other than that, we'll just wait on the crowd.
We asked Sanders why people come to bluegrass festivals.
Well, it's just sort of the fellowship of each other. You know, there's people that from California and Oregon and then Mississippi and Alabama and other states that, you know, they'll know the people that meet them at a festival, and they just sit around and visit and talk, and it's just sort of like a family reunion for everybody. You know, it's sort of the old original hillbilly music, and there's just the bluegrass, you associate that with a good, clean show.
Harold Morrison is a popular bluegrass performer. He sings Head Over Heels in Love with You at the Sanders Family Festival.
I think I'll go across the ocean. If I don't change my notion, I just got to forget you if I can. Oh, feeling so blue and I don't know what to do. Oh Lord, I'm head over heels in love with you. Oh, the days and nights are lonely, and I'm a-thinking of you only. I just can't get you off my mind. Oh, I'm feeling so blue, and I don't know what to do. Oh, Lord, I'm head over heels in love with you. Days and nights are lonely, and I'm a-thinking of you only. I just can't bear the thought of losing you. Oh, I'm feeling so blue, and I don't know what to do. Oh, Lord, I'm head over heels in love with you.
The festival, I think, really is what has made the resurgence of old-time music, and has brought it to the forefront and to the attention of metropolitan areas, as well as it has become a vogue thing, more or less, to the extent that so many professional people now identify with it, and the college age groups. Sum it up very briefly, I think the most encouraging thing is the interest that the younger groups are showing in it, which will in time carry on the tradition of it, because very little of it is documented or written down, and it was a hand-me-down thing for many years, from generation to generation. If my dad played the fiddle, I learned how to play the fiddle, and vice versa, just like Chub, or an uncle, or an old man in the neighborhood, or someone like that. It was a hand-me-down traditional type of thing. And the reason I think the festival came into being was because so many of the radio stations went like top country format and stopped almost entirely programming our type of old-time music again because of the hillbilly image. And I'm a firm believer today that if they could hear it on the air 4 or 5 times a day, they wouldn't come out here and pay $8 or $10 to see it on weekends.
I think a lot of people enjoy the music. They love to listen to it, and they find that more people get involved in it, and a lot of people find out that they can do it too. And it gives them a chance to get out and pick with other people and do their thing. You know, they want to become a part of it.
A common occurrence at most outdoor festivals is the informal gathering of people who are called parking lot pickers. The pros, as well as amateurs, enjoy swapping ideas and songs. Grant, a bluegrass performer and songwriter, along with his family, held the first outdoor bluegrass festival west of the Mississippi in 1969. Salt Creek Park near Hugo, Oklahoma, is the site for the annual festival.
Bill Monroe come by and stayed all night with us in 1967 and invited us up to Bean Blossom to his festival, and we went up there that next year in June, and we saw what he had there, and we decided we had something similar to that here, so we thought we'd just come back and give it a stab here in the Midwest and see how many bluegrassers there was out here, and we found quite a few of them. So we didn't do it for money. We started into it because we love the music.
What inspires you most, I guess, about composing songs?
It's hard to say. It just comes to you, you know. I can't sit down and write anything. If I say I'm going to sit down and write a song, it's impossible. I've always loved the mountains. When I was little, my daddy bought goats up in the mountains, and we went up in there, and I called them the Goat Mountains, you know. And I always loved the mountains, so of course, when I got in my band, I called it the Kiamichi Mountain Boys, and the Kiamichi River runs down through here, and I've just kind of think a lot about the mountains and the streams.
Josh Graves joins Bill Grant, Delia Bell, and the Kiamichi Mountain Boys on a song Bill wrote called Kiamichi Mountain Home.
Be glad to autograph some pictures for you in my studying album, too. Oh, I've been lots of places and I've seen a lot of things, for I've done a lot of traveling in my time. But I've never seen a wonder that I learned to love so well as that Kiamichi Mountain home of mine. Oh, I'm going back home to those Kiamichi Mountains and that hillbilly mountain gal of mine. Take her in my arms and tell her that I never more should roam from that Kiamichi Mountain home of mine. Over hills and through the valleys where I roam in just a lad, where the wind blows a song through the pines, and the sparkling water travels through the valley wide and green in that Kiamichi Mountain home of mine. Oh, I'm going back home to those Kiamichi Mountains, that hillbilly mountain gal of mine. Take her in my arms and tell her that I never more should roam from that Kiamichi Mountain home of mine. Tell her that I never more should roam from that Kiamichi Mountain home of mine. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Bluegrass is pure American music. It's a music that comes from the people. Therein lies its greatest strength and the reason we'll hear it for many years to come. It has a happy, natural, down-to-earth sound. And if there is to be a music that reflects the diversity of American culture, bluegrass is that music.